company we all know and usually hate. And if you went to Apple and you said, hey, I just need a desk setup, I need something that is usable, right? They would point you to this. They would say, you need a Mac Studio, right? Because you need it to be useful. You need that extra power, right? Sure, why not? And then, when you ask about displays, it's got to be all Apple, right? The Apple ecosystem, that pie in the sky. So of course it's got to be an Apple display. The Apple Studio display, right? Save some money, even though it's still ridiculously expensive. And I think that Apple's idea of what they think you should buy is bullshit. I think that's entirely ridiculous for them to even have these products and prices in the first place. So I'm going to show you how to get like a very, very, very nice and decent Apple setup for almost half the price. And I have got a Casio calculator MS-80B, so you know all my numbers are accurate, right? Right here on the desk, I'm touching it right now so that we can measure the prices of things, right? So, let's talk about displays. Arguably the most overpriced thing. They don't do that much. They don't do that much. Really, they don't. And if you watch DankPod's video, you know that the XDR kind of sucks, and so does the Studio display. So, they're not good, they're overpriced, and they're just a display, right? I could pay this much for a brand new MacBook Air, and that's an actual computer, right? So, exactly what display are you going to get? Well, if you think back in time, a lot of us probably remember the late, great 2007 Apple cinema display. Now, these are great displays with great picture quality, but they're showing their age, right? There's no inbuilt camera, there's no inbuilt speakers, it's just a display, and these are collectible and therefore expensive. If you look back in time, you may remember the late, great 2003 Apple PowerMac cinema display. But these, if you think these have shown their age, wait, you can't even find one of these without a cracked panel or cracked silicone or something like that, right? Something damaged on the body, right? So let's go a little bit newer. If you are, an Apple person that's followed Apple for a while, you probably remember the Apple Thunderbolt display. This does not have a speaker, but it has an inbuilt camera. Not a very good one, but it's still there. This runs off of Thunderbolt, a lot newer than the older DisplayPort VGA style of the cinema displays, right? And it fits in with your Apple ecosystem, right? Remember, a lot of the reason, whether we like to admit it or not, the reason we like to use Apple is because it's aesthetic, right? My laptop may not have as many ports as my ThinkPad, but when I need to do some work, I'm going to take the Apple because the ergonomics are just better, right? We all love that good Apple clean glass and metal look, right? And both of these, they have it, but they also don't. It has that classic, anti-glare, just sandpaper display. We don't really like those, and then the polycarbonate that cracks and turns yellow over time. They just don't really last, right? And this looks like a modern Apple product. So this is going to be the displays, right? We've already got the displays. Now, I mentioned there was a webcam, but it's awful. If you think if you think their laptop, their MacBook cameras are bad, you should see this one. So I've actually used one. They suck. So you need a webcam. Even these, they just look hideous. For better or for worse, well, worse. The worst part about new technology designing is this, where everything has to look like some sort of robot turd. Yeah, I don't get it. Glass and then a gradient and microphone and this and sure, why not a gradient, and then text that doesn't at all match, and even the more air quotes aesthetic ones still look crappy. And having this plastic turd sitting above your lovely metal and glass classic Apple display would look trashy, but you still need a better webcam. Why do people forget that these exist, right? I don't know why it is. It seems like everyone that I talk to that need a webcam are several people have asked me for webcam recommendations, and I always say these. And they just forget that they exist. And you want to know why these are better than most other webcams? Because I don't know about you, I am an iMac user. In fact, I am talking to you on an iMac. And having the camera way up there, it's just uncomfortable to look at, and it's like they're looking down at me, which isn't a very good angle, right? These can sit on the ground, If I were to buy one of these, which I don't, because I don't need it. COVID is over by now. The camera's over, right, sitting there, and it can be at eye level with you, which is a lot nicer for video calls. It's a lot less awkward, and the picture quality is great. These make great webcams, and the best part is, it's Apple. They're not Microsoft that shuts off the servers and cleans house 2 weeks after it comes out. They actually you can still use this, right? Still a very good option if you want a webcam. And like I said, it fits in beautifully with that Apple aesthetic. So what arguably most important part is the computer itself. What computer are we going to use? Well, the M1, M2, M3, and M4 chips are very good, right? The M1 was a huge leap from the Intel slop that they were using before, right? M2 has been great, M3 has been great, and M4 has been great. But is there really that much of a difference between M3 and M4, or M1 and M2, or M2 and M3? Not really. It's faster. It's a lot faster, right? But usually it's just the machines. So, driving all of this, which I assure you will be enough power, is a Mac Mini. This is the M2 Mac Mini, which is the exact same one we're still on. Of course, they've upgraded the chip inside of it. It's the same hardware, same ports, same everything, right? And the best part is these are a lot cheaper. This is definitely going to be the most expensive part, which is how things should be. The display shouldn't be the most expensive part, Apple. The actual computer should be the most expensive part. So, yeah. And also, I'm going to add one thing into the mix there. And this is optional to the setup, the build, right? I do a lot of work with iPods. I do a lot of work with iPhones. And modern Macs are fine, right? They've built it in. If I plug in my iPhone, I can change stuff in it and Finder and all that crap. But you want iTunes, right? If you're using old pods and you're using iPhones, you want something that can talk to iPods and something that can read DVDs and CDs, right? 2010 iMac. The iMac sitting right next to this one. This is on an M2 iMac, yellow edition, and then there's, of course, this one. Now, why would you go specifically for a 2010? Well, the 2007 model, of course, not late grade, but DangPods has one of those that sits on his desk. It's for the exact same reason, but the reason why I picked the 2010 over the 2007, when the 2007 is cheaper, it's just more functional. The hardware is nicer. It's overall nicer. The aspect ratio is just better. It's, more current. And it also just looks nicer sitting there. Yes, it's chunky, but again, it has an SD card reader and a DVD, real computer things, Apple, blowing their heads, blowing them away, actually computer needed stuff on this Mac. And I just, this one's running Sierra and it's fine. I have iTunes on it and everything. Tricky, but it's on there. And it restores pods, it does everything, it talks to all my devices perfectly. So if you're into Apple stuff, you're gonna need one of these, right? It's also nice to have two computers. Like, I could technically just have a Mac Mini and then two displays, but I feel like I like two computers, right? So we're on the, why is shoes, trending. I was gonna say, I wasn't looking at shoes. Yeah, wow. Oh yeah, I'm signed out, so it has no idea what I want. Anyway, we are going to see where you can find all of this and then compare it to the price of Apple's slop. So $1,500, I'm turning on the calculator. $1,500 dues. Isn't that just so amazing? Just so great. And then we're going to add that to the, times 2, right? I forgot, times 2. Yay. They really do make this great. Great, so we're already at $3,198, right? Great, let's move on to the Mac Studio, which is, again, they're pushing hard into this thing, and it starts, nope, I was wrong. The Mac Studio was more expensive than the display. That's interesting. Mac Mini? Yeah, the display is more expensive than the actual computer. That's tragic. Mac Studio, what they say that you need is $2,000. Wow, how amazing. So for Apple, it's officially $5,198. What a bargain, right? And I can't wait for all of it to break in 2 years, and then AppleCare to tell me to go screw off when I ask them for anything. So it's time to move on to all of this. Let's start off with the Mac Mini. M2 Mac Mini. Searched, what are we going to find? And 16 gigabyte RAM, 512 gigabyte SSD, fine. 512 gigabyte SSD and 8 gigabyte RAM. That's another thing. The 2007s are very difficult to update. The 2010s, this one's running an SSD with 16 gigabytes of RAM. It was hard, but it's done, and it's great. This thing is as fast, if not faster, than the iMac that I'm currently doing this on. So let's just find a decent one. Like, I bought one of these, listings where it just shows you, a stock photo, and it actually was not that bad. So, 8 gigabyte RAM, no, here, I think. You really need 16 gigabytes of RAM for any games or anything, although it's Mac, so it's not like you're going to be doing too much. So, on the calculator, we are doing, I can just add this to cart. Oh, don't allow, no thank you. Great. Okay, 700, here, I'm adding it up officially, 0.99. Great. First things in the books. Now it's time for the 2011. Apple Thunderbolt display. Yes, I type like a child. Just find one that's not shattered. Yeah, I don't have to read the description. I can obviously see it's broken. I'm sure some idiot's gonna buy that and think, oh, it's just tape. Oh, yeah. Used B condition. Honestly, cracks. The cracks are what you have to look out for. If it doesn't have any cracks, then it's usually fine. Oh, it's not. I'm not going to go for that one, but that's actually not, I might buy that. That's actually not bad. Grade A, yeah, that's probably what we should get. Okay, $429. Remember, we're almost already at the Apple display thing here, and 0.95. We have officially made it to $1,000, $1,219, right? Going great so far. I would usually multiply this by 2, but it's eBay, so I'm just going to keep this scrolling. Chipped, no. A monitor, chips, no. You just need to find a good one. 26. Yeah, by the way, they made this forever. 2016 Thunderbolt display, $225. Showing that it's been used previously, may have some signs of cosmetic wear. Oh, whatever, it's old. Okay, and actually, that's a great, I'm totally gonna buy that. Okay, $225. I'm actually looking for these, so at the same time I'm showing you around, I'm actually doing my own research, right? So, that's pretty much everything down. We're also getting the Apple EyeSight camera. Just needed. Oh, great. Apple iMac G5. Wow, that's really not what we're looking for. EyeSight. Am I thinking of it? I'm going to do webcam. Yes, that one. EyeSight for lens, webcam. I'm thinking that's the correct one. There we go, $10. Oh, wait, what's that, a boxed one? Oh, an original box. That means it has all the gobbledygook. Yep, it's got all the gobbledygook. That's great. That's what we want, actually. That's 100%. And that is, again, a total of $15. These cameras are great. $15.98. Pull my leg. Okay, we're already at $1,460, and we've almost got everything down. If I am correct, the only thing we need to do is a used 2010 iMac. I bought this thing suspicious, what I thought would be suspicious on eBay, and it was fine. And then I'll also include, like, the upgrading bits to it. Core i5, High Sierra. It's going to be hard to downgrade it, so 1 terabyte SSD. See, this one's already been upgraded. That 4 gigabytes of RAM, though, I'm sus that, man. Oh, see, I knew that price was suspiciously good. I bought mine in, like, 2017. It was, like, $100. 4 gigabyte RAM, HHD, Radeon. No one likes that. $45 shipping. $79, $45 shipping, Core i3, HHD, Radeon. Yosemite, fine, why not? Pull my leg. And that is a total of, our grandiose total is $1,540. So, let's just take a little walk. So, Apple's quote, right, what they said you need, came out to a total of $5,198. And we got everything here, everything on the list, for $1,540. If that isn't damning, I don't know what is. That is, that's almost a third the price. Here, right here, I'm gonna subtract it so we can see just how great this is. That's a difference of $3,657.09. Bye. There's not much else to say. Mic dropped.